Sunday and I'm just coming home from church. So this is Chronicles number 42 with a public service announcement. And I'm being sober today on my message while I'm driving. So maybe about Wednesday, I get a call on my business line. And excuse me, I have my rosary in the window. But I get a call on my business line from a company that was giving me warnings that my gas and electric was high and I needed to make a payment because they was going to shut me off. And so I'm usually up on those things when I do have like bills, because I pride myself in being the most efficient on the block. But I'm going to be efficient. I live alone. And so like the house next door has like 6 people living in there, and sometimes they have visitors. And then I have my other neighbors who are coupled and have kids and things like that. So of course I just stay in one room if I'm not in the kitchen just cooking or doing stuff. So I'm going to be efficient and I'm going to keep track of things. And so when he called, he gave me his name. His name was Patrick Edwards. And so, and he had an accent, almost sounded, I'm not going to say, it wasn't Indian or Hindu accent or anything like that. It was more, and it wasn't even African, maybe Ethiopian. It could have been Ethiopian, I don't know. But anyway, so he was calling me and I talked to him for a couple of minutes about my bill. So he gave me an amount. And so I understand about gas as a resource. And, you know, there used to be a point in time where our gas used to be less than our electric. They were going to do any shut-off notices or things like that. It's normally because of the electric, not the gas. But this year and last year, because of the war and our oil supply, gas is like an anomaly. And I feel like eventually everybody is going to actually have no other choice but then to drive electric cars and heat their home by solar energy and things like that, just to, you know, preserve the earth. And because gas is a natural resource that is an anomaly, it is at an all-time high. I cannot believe it seems like I burned $300 worth of gas every month. And I keep my temperature, my thermostat on 75. Because, you know, me going through the change of life, I needed to be cooler. And if it wasn't for my dog, I probably wouldn't even have my heat on. So we were talking about it, and he was talking about how much I owed. And I said, well, you know what? I don't get paid till this week, and I really don't have it. So what I'll do is when I get paid on Friday, I will call. So he said, well, you don't have to pay the whole thing. The shut-off notice is for this. So I said, okay. So Friday came, and I almost forgot, because I usually follow up with any bill collector. So Friday came, and I found the number again, and so I said, let me call. So I picked up the phone, dialed the number, nobody answered. And he ended up calling back. And so he said, yes, this is the collection department. And so I said, yes. I said, I spoke with you on Wednesday regarding my BG&E bill. And, you know, well, in New Jersey it's PSE&G, but in Maryland it's BG&E. And I think their offices are out of Philly. You know, I think their administration and ad hoc is out of Philly. So yeah, so he said, yeah, you know, I remember, I'm pulling up your account. And so I said, well, how much do I need? I said, because now it's 6 o'clock and, you know, I just want to make sure I get everything straightened out before Monday. So he said, well, you can pay half. I said, all right. So I said, well, I'm going to just go ahead and put it in the system, and I'm going to go on to the actual website, because I think it's through Western Union, Speed Pay or something like that. So I said, I'm going to go on to the website and I'm going to pay. He was like, no, you can pay through your phone app. And so I said, since when did BG&E get a phone app? I said, is that new? And it's not surprising, because every phone app is tied to something. Everybody has a phone app. And so I said, okay, so BG&E has a phone app. Let me go and download the app. So he said, no, you could just do it directly through your bank account. So we had been going on and on like that whole 10 minutes. And so I just couldn't get in. And, he wasn't frustrated, but he was working with me. And so I said, you know what, just forget it. If I don't get in today, I'll try it again Monday, or maybe I can go online and just pay online, like I normally do when my bill is due. And so he was like, no, let me get my supervisor on the phone to help you. So after Mr. Patrick Edwards switched me over to Alex, the supervisor, I started recording. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't crazy from the things that I was hearing. So he was like, yes, this is Alex. I said, may I have your last name? He said, well, I'm operator 2211. I said, okay. And so he said, and I understand you need help getting into this, I guess, a transfer from the bank account. You can go in and do it directly through Zelle. And I said, oh, really? So he said, yes, you could transfer the money. It's immediate, and it will help you not have a turn-off notice. I said, okay. So he said, well, I'll walk you through it. And it just wasn't working. And so I find this man. He said, well, no, you have to go here and you have to do this. And I said, well, let me ask you a question. I said, why are you getting so upset? Why are you getting so nasty with me? I said, I'm a senior. I'm trying to understand. I'm really computer literate. And for some strange reason, it's not working for me. So, I don't understand why you're getting upset with me. And I said, and if I ask questions, I think my right as a consumer is to find out what is going on. So he said, well, you just have to go to the website and you have to sign it, because if you don't go in and sign in and transfer the money, they're going to turn your gas, they're going to turn your electricity off, and then you're going to have to pay the whole thing. So I said, okay. I said, well, let me ask you a question. And then I could hear him frustrated and just being exasperated with me. And I said, where are you located? And so he was like, Baltimore. And I said, I understand you're in Baltimore. I said, but where? And so, we're just the collection department. I said, I understand. And I looked at the phone number. Phone number said Michigan. So we got a couple of conflicts here. We got a phone number that says Michigan. We got an agent named Alex, operator 2211, stating that they're in Baltimore and that he's a collection department, and he cannot tell me where he was located. Now, the third thing is that I know when I get my statements, because I get e-statements, but when I was getting statements, their offices was out of Philly. So you could even told me that, right? But the truth is that even though I'm not from Maryland, even though I'm not from Baltimore, everybody knows I'm a Jersey girl. I even know one street in Maryland, in Baltimore. If you were really trying, you could have given me any street. Everybody that doesn't live in Maryland knows that there's a street in Baltimore called Fayette Street. Give me anything to be convincing. So I said, you know what? I said, this is not going to work. Wait, they're just going to turn off your services. I said, you know what? I'm willing to risk that. And I said, and if they turn it off, I'll just pay the fee, which is $30. No big deal. Because I need to have the lights to live. I need to have the gas to have heat. So if they turn it off, I have the pressure bust pipes. I have no other alternative and recourse but to pay it. And so he commenced to say, you know what? Why don't you take this dildo and stick it up your fat ass? Yes, I said that. And I said, what? Click. Do. And everybody know me with my sound effects. Click do means dial tone. He hung up on me. So I called back. And I got this all recorded. If no one was to believe me, give me a call and I'll play it for you so you can hear. So here we go. Mr. Patrick Edwards answers. And I said, you know, your supervisor, Alex, was very rude. And he told me to stick a dildo up my ass. And he was very frustrated because I wouldn't go on to your so-called Zelle and transfer the money over to you guys who claim you're a collection agent. And I said, but I got your number and I'm going to report you. Click do. And it immediately hit me that they almost got me. But let me tell you something. I've been saying all week that God blocked it. When I say that God blocked it, do you know how frustrated I would have been knowing that I am a person that tries to pay these bills just to live in my house, keep my head above water? I'm working 2 jobs. I don't know how these people accessed my information to get my account number or to get an amount that I owed. But I would have been so sick to my stomach had I paid money thinking it was going towards an important bill and I got taken. And I immediately started to cry. Now, I wasn't crying because I felt defeated. I was crying, number one, because God is good. I was crying because nothing I did would let me in that app. And I was crying because here I'm sliding into 60 and I still have my wits. I have been battling back and forth, forgetting things and stuff like that. But there's somebody 10 years older than me that is not computer literate, that's not sharp, and would give them all their money, thinking that they're in danger. And so I'm coming from church today, and we had the Daughters of Destiny, and one of the speakers spoke about getting a phone call and seeing scam run across your phone, and how it's a wolf in sheep's clothing, and I think she read through Matthew 7, and it hit me that in life you are going to have a wolf in sheep's clothing that think that they are doing something noble and good for you, but behind the mask they're trying to seek, kill, and destroy. And that is the trick of the enemy. We are at war. I've never seen this country in this state to the point where people are robbing and killing. On top of robbing and killing, they're sacrificing. And, you know, we're in a deep recession. I've never seen anything like it in my life. And not only are we in a recession, but we're in a deep depression financially. And you mean to tell me you are willing to take money from me, a person who works hard, and sometimes I don't have it. You know, I'm rich, but I ain't rich. But I ain't broke, right? And so I started thinking about all the other vulnerable senior citizens around the world that's sitting up here that sometimes they can't even pay their garbage bill. And there's a true story, and I forget what state it's in and what city it's in. I think it might be Huntsville, Alabama, where they took a lady to jail because she didn't pay her garbage bill and she was delinquent, and then she owed, and they took her to jail. The most asinine thing I've ever seen. Single mother, well, not single mother, but she was a senior lady, living single in a home that couldn't pay a garbage bill. And so we have these things where you can't pay your garbage bill, you can't pay your water bill, you can't pay your mortgage, you can't pay your gas and electric, can't buy food. And you mean to tell me you have people that are scoundrels and scavengers crawling the earth's dregs of society trying to rob? And I'm gonna be 100. I'm gonna keep it a bean with you. I tried to invest by listening to my cousin that was telling me things that sounded good with some guy that was doing cryptocurrency and forex trading. And I didn't really have a lot of money, but this was supposed to be some compound interest. And, I work in finance, so, anything is possible in finance, but quick money ain't good money. Whether it's drug money, or whether it's a scam, or whether it's stealing, whatever. So I invested my money, and I invested my son's money with this. And this guy took at least probably a little over $10,000-$15,000 from people, and he ran off. And so I actually did some research and found him on Instagram, and one of his memes said, "I'm not about to apologize for the move I'm making." And that means ripping off 20, 30 of your people just so you can get ahead in the world. But the way God works, how far do you think you're going to go? How far do you think you're going to go with money that you did not earn? Honestly, how far do you think you're going to go when you take money from innocent people, especially senior citizens who work hard or get a pension or get Social Security, that don't have it and can't get resources from wherever they live? It's just so hurtful. We live in a crappy world right now. And I'm so distraught about it that I wanted to come on and just be sober for a minute and give you guys a PSA. Not just a PSA, but just give you a warning that no Social Security agency is going to call you and tell you that you owe money. No IRS agency is going to call and say the police are outside your job and about to arrest you. And BG&E is not going to call you unless it's a specific agency, not even a collection agency if it's not a robocall, because they do robocalls to tell you your bills are due. But not a human person is going to call you and let you know that, oh, we're about to turn off your stuff, you got to pay half of your money. All right? And so I want you to be open. I want you to be wise. I want you to listen and look at the signs, because not everybody is forthcoming and honest. And if you listen and it sounds wrong, more than likely it's wrong. Use your third eye and know that not everybody intentions is good intentions for you. And so that's my time. I stayed on for 18 minutes. My drive from church was 18 minutes. And I fell. And it's a wonderful thing, but I'm not hurt. Something just happened. But when I fell, my iWatch said, "We see you fell. Are you all right?" This is all technology. And so not everybody knows about technology. Things are going to change. Things are going to gravitate to the world changing and cultivating. And you have to acclimate to the times. And so I always felt like we were in the Jetsons and the Get Smart age, go gadget. And so I love gadgets. I've always loved gadgets. But somebody like my father built computers. I have to teach him how to use the iPhone. And so imagine 20 years from now, or maybe 10 years from now, if the Lord allows me to continue on living, there's going to be new technology that I'm not going to know about. So I try to keep myself abroad and abreast of what is new so I can stay a step ahead for technology. And if it wasn't for that, and if it wasn't for God, and if it wasn't for the spirit of discernment and me listening to him and me seeing I would not have caught it. So God blocked that today. And that was the message today. But God blocked it Friday. But God blocked it every single time. Get your relationship right with the Lord and tune in to Him and listen to His voice. And if you hear that something is not right, that intuition is God talking to you. Isn't that amazing? Well, that's Car Chronicles 42. That's my time. I'll be back with Car Chronicles 43 on my next venture to tell you what's going on, because I know I'm going to have something to talk about. I know I'm going to have a gripe. Maybe it's some Walmart, whatever the case may be. So, have a blessed day. Love you all. Bye.